That was so in depth. You put so much into this.
I cared deeply about this. That
was crazy.
Tell me this: Would you be excited to watch that movie?
I would, yeah, for sure. That sounds very interesting. Welcome to Backseat Directing,
where we talk about movies, TV shows, comics, and more.
We're your hosts,
Andrew
and Aaron,
and we post new episodes every Monday and Thursday.
And today we're picking our cast for Knives Out 3.
3, 2, 1, action. All right, Aaron, so today we are going to go over a hypothetical dream cast that we have for Knives Out 3. I've developed my own dream cast. You've developed your own cast for what you would want to see in Knives Out 3. So we're going to explain both of ours and go back and forth discussing why we think these people should be the stars in the movie, because there's star-studded cast for the first two, and the cast is like a big part of these movies and what makes them work. So do you have anything that you want to talk about before we get into the nitty-gritty?
No, I want to find out your list and then kind of hear your reasonings behind it. So okay. Let's just kind of go right into it.
So my thought process, the way my brain works, is I wanted to come up with a plot. So here's my plot for Knives Out 3. I think the first two have taken place in really gaudy, rich exteriors, these big, beautiful houses that make for awesome, ornate set pieces, which is what the movies are known for. I want to do a complete twist on that and have this movie take place in a maximum security prison. Now, the plot of the movie would be that a prisoner is found dead by suicide, and this is an older gentleman who was convicted of a crime years ago and always maintained his innocence and was denied by the Innocence Project, but he went to school in prison in order to get his law degree to defend himself for his appeals and prove his innocence, because he always maintained he was not guilty of this crime. Now, when he dies, his wife, who I'm going to have cast as Viola Davis, she always maintained his innocence as well. She remained loyal to him while he was in prison. She's incredibly distraught under duress. She calls out to Daniel Craig because she believes he had finally found the proof that he was innocent, and she doesn't see why the man would have committed suicide if he believed in his heart of hearts that he was going to be finally getting free and reunited with his family. His family, you might say, well, he has a son. His son will be played by Michael B. Jordan, and I checked the ages to make sure it lines up. Viola Davis is old enough to be his mother. I think she's 21 or 22 years older. Michael B. Jordan's wife will be played by Georgina Campbell. So that would make him make her the daughter-in-law of the deceased. She stars as I believe Tess is the name. She's in Barbarian, which I thought she was like the best part of that movie. She had a really good performance in that. Gary Oldman, who I would cast as the warden of the prison, and I would see it as everybody who was in the prison at the time of the death is considered a suspect, considered suspicious to Benoit. So all the people in this cast were in the prison at the time of the victim's death. So Jesse Plemons would be a guard. Lashana Lynch would be a guard as well. If you don't know them, Jesse Plemons, one of the most incredible actors of our age, for roles like Todd in Breaking Bad. He's in the USS Callister episode of Black Mirror, which is my favorite episode of the show. He is in Game Night, which another contender reason for my list was I wanted to pick people who I felt like could catch the tone of Knives Out, this like dark, gritty mystery thriller, but also that comedic talent. And I feel like Jesse Plemons in Game Night, which is a comedy, showed that he can match that. So and let me just step back a minute and say that Benoit Blanc is obviously going to be played by Daniel Craig, because I didn't say that yet, but that is a must. So after that, Lashana Lynch, she's in Captain Marvel and she's in Woman King, and I thought she did such a good job doing the imposing role in Woman King that she could play a guard in this prison and pull off that tough aspect. She's my favorite part of the Woman King, so I want to see her in more roles. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is going to play a serial killer in my version of this movie. He's been in the other two movies. He does background voice work. He does the Dong voice in Knives Out, Glass Onion, and he does the voice of like a cop on a TV show in the first Knives Out. So I want to give him a full role in this movie. He's had some small role in like all of Rian Johnson's movies, so let's put him on screen. I think he could crush this role out of the park. Willem Dafoe is going to be the prison doctor. He'll do the autopsy on the victim. Tom Hiddleston will be the cannibal. So all of my criminals are in here for different reasons. Simu Liu is going to be the reporter. Tom Hardy is going to be in there as a criminal, as the crime lord. Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be the hitman. Michael Pena will be the cellmate of the victim. And I have Miles Teller in there as a visitor of another. He's going to be a family member to another prisoner in the prison. So I think that everyone in there will be looking at, Benoit will be looking at them for possible motivations to this crime, trying to unravel the truth, and they'll have to get a lot more creative with making the set exciting in like a drab, dark prison. So I want them to mix it up, go the darker route. They've been so high on the rich, and I just want them to go to kind of the dark, dreary, the underbelly, and have a mystery there. That's where I want to see this movie go. And I'll get into my honorable mentions when you do yours.
That was so in depth. You put so much into this.
I care deeply about this. That
was crazy.
Tell me this: Would you be excited to watch that movie?
I would. Yeah, for sure. That sounds very interesting to me. I don't know if Rian Johnson would want to go that direction, though. You know, like I feel like
it's very different.
Rich and stuff. Like I feel like that's a big part of these movies. And since you're moving into the prison, you're missing that. But your casting and the roles that you picked for everyone, that was amazing. Like I picked a cast, but like I don't have roles that they're playing or anything. Like I don't even want to tell you what mine are. Like, this is pointless. Like we should just keep talking about your list and dive into your movie that you got going on now. And if it doesn't become a Knives Out 3, we need to put a title on this and make up a script and send it to somebody.
We'll send it to Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
No, but I got to know what yours are though. I'm curious.
Okay, so I'm definitely not as in depth as you. Like now, I feel like I did nothing for this to contribute to this podcast episode. I just made a list of 5 guys, 5 ladies that I would like to see play a role. I don't have a specific role for them in the Knives Out 3 movie. Man, all right, here we go. First one, men. Aaron Taylor Johnson. He was on your list. Giancarlo Esposito. Jonathan Majors, which is kind of funny because he's the counterpart to Michael B. Jordan in Creed 3. So that's a cool pick that you had. I feel like I tried to pick actors and actresses that were well known, but not necessarily more well known or above Daniel Craig.
Yeah, I think some of mine kind of crossed that threshold.
Yeah.
But I didn't want any actors in mind that would be huge blockbuster names like no Leo, Tom Cruise, Dwayne Johnson, none of that. Ryan Reynolds, none of that.
Yeah.
I actually put in my actors I don't want to be in it. I put Jonathan Majors. Does he need to be in everything? ?
Yes. Yes. Can we get a scene with him doing behind the neck pull-ups on
that would be pretty good.
Oh, let's go.
It's like Jason Statham in Death Race.
Yeah. Or Will Smith in I Am Legend, you know? Like, yeah, give it to me. Willem Dafoe, I had in there as well. And then my wild card pick for the guys, James Roday. He is the actor who plays Psych. So we know that he can play the in a kind of detective movie.
But do you want him to be also a detective? Would that be
not necessarily. No, I didn't think of him as being a detective. I thought of him kind of being one of the people that LeBlanc is suspicious of. And I kind of want him to play like a funny, kind of serious character, you know, who's kind of sarcastic, you know, but has some serious moments to it.
I think a rich guy with Sean Spencer's personality from Psych would play really well in this style of movie that he's been doing so far.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be cool. I feel like it's cool to throw in some TV stars into this movie, you know, because I want Daniel Craig to still be the lead of the movie. I want him to be the star. And even in Glass Onion, I think he was. I think a few of the actors are really well known, but maybe from a time before, you know, or there was a bunch of like up and coming actors that were in there as well. So that's kind of what I had in mind when I was coming up with my list. From my 5 ladies, I have Anna Taylor-Joy, who was in The Queen's Gambit. Sandra Bullock, She is kind of my older, mature lady pick for this iteration of Knives Out. Michelle Yeoh.
Yes.
I think she'd be great in this movie as well.
I have her in my honorable mentions because just watching all the recent speeches, like the Golden Globe speeches I put her and Ke Huy Quan in my...
Yeah.
Because I just want them to be in everything now.
I feel like...
Everywhere.
Yeah,
all at once.
I feel like she fits the vibe of Knives Out, and I think she would do a good job. And then I have two younger actresses who are kind of on the way up. Jenna Ortega, who played Wednesday. I think she did a fantastic job in that role. And it'd be fun. She can kind of play like someone's kid or someone a little younger, maybe a rebellious teenager or something. And then I have Haley Steinfeld, who has a very big range in her acting ability. So you can kind of have her in as any kind of character that you would want. For me, I didn't think of a full script, but I did have kind of like a concept in mind. So for the first one, we had like a family drama. And then the second one, it was like friend to me kind of drama. For this one, I was thinking, let's make them coworkers. Let's make it take place at someone's work.
Yeah.
And something happened there.
No, I like that. So evolution of different kinds of relationships.
Right.
That is interesting.
Yeah. So I didn't pick like a specific job or something, but maybe they all went on like a coworkers retreat or something, and someone died or something like that, and they're all in the room and stuff, and somehow LeBlanc found his way there, whether he was like called by someone or called by the victim or whatever it is. But I think the coworker dynamic would be good because we've seen the family and how that can kind of fall out, and then we've seen the friends and maybe people who don't like each other, but now we have coworkers who sometimes have alliances together and sometimes you're not even acquaintances, like you're just both here to make $1,
Yeah.
Love them or hate them, you're connected with them.
And you're connected in ways too that can possibly give motivations too for whatever murder is going to take place in the story. There's a lot of strife that goes on in the workplace. People want each other's jobs. People want promotions. They're competing against each other. So I think that different dynamic, I like both of our dynamics, the workplace and the prison.
I like
dynamic.
how much you thought out your idea. I think that was really cool.
See, the other thing though, even though it seems like my cast members are set in stone, you touched on something interesting where you said like an actress that's so good like Haley Steinfeld that could really play anything. I put such talented people in my list that it doesn't even have to be set in stone in my opinion. Like I think Viola Davis, she could be the warden if she wanted to. She's played Amanda Waller, Yeah. She could be a lawyer that's in the prison doing an interview, a family member. And then, who I have as my warden already, Gary Oldman, who I love, he could be a murderer. He could be a reporter. He's not just necessarily that warden type. And the actors on both our lists are so phenomenal. Like they don't even need to be put into these boxes yet until a script is finalized.
Yeah, for sure. And then another idea that I had, we were at a family's house, rich mansion, and then they flipped the script and went to a Greek island. Well, I was thinking, let's go somewhere where it's snowing. Let's go the complete opposite season. Have the movie come out around Christmas, and I think that would be a good switch.
Christmas work party murder. If it's not, that just reminds me of there was a Netflix movie though called. It's on this show I think called Murderville with Will Arnett. They did a murder mystery at a Christmas party I think. Yeah. So maybe I'm subconsciously stealing that.
Yeah, coworkers, sometimes you want to go to the Christmas party, sometimes you don't. I feel like it'd be an interesting dynamic, and it could still be at I don't know, some luxurious resort or something, where the business that they're working for is really wealthy, so you still have that kind of wealth aspect
wealth people,
into the movie.
Could be people. I mean, even the route he's going so political lately, it could be people in the legislature or something. Mm-hmm. Could be House representatives getting together, people with that kind of power and wealth.
Yeah.
But I want to take this break while I have a moment to think of it, just to thank everybody who is listening to and or watching our episode. We really appreciate everybody out there. Aaron, do you have anything you want to ask them for?
Yeah, if you can head over to our YouTube and hit that subscribe button, it'll help us out a bunch. Over the last 28 days, we've gained over 60 subscribers, which is crazy.
Yeah.
We're very thankful that everyone that has subscribed is watching our stuff. Yeah, check out Andrew's shirt. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I need to get one of those. But yeah, and then also if you can head over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star rating, that helps bump our podcast up for more people to see.
Absolutely. So the next question I had for you is, do you have your honorable mentions? Or
Yes, I have a few. These honorable mentions I kind of stole from like some other lists, you know, and I agree with some of them. I think some of them would be cool. For the guys, I have Pete Davidson, Adam Driver, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Just Like You. But I didn't. So are they making 3 or 4 of these movies? Because whatever
3 is my understanding.
Okay, because whatever one they make last, Joseph Gordon-Levitt should be in.
In like a full role, in like a Miles Braun role. I feel like a big role.
Right. Or maybe even he's like LeBlanc's boss or something, you know, like that'd be fun. And then one that I've seen around a bunch, Timothy Chalamet, or however you say his last name.
I think you got it, Timothy Chalamet. I only have a few, which we already touched on.
I also have Florence Pugh. Sorry, going over the women. Florence Pugh and Helena Bonham Carter.
Oh yeah, Helena Bonham Carter. I love her. She would be. I didn't even think of her, but she would be a perfect cast.
So I have her on the honorable mentions because I didn't think of her originally. I saw it on someone else's list, and I was like, "Ooh,
she would be."
Good.
That's a top tier pick.
Yeah.
That is an excellent pick.
Fantastic actor. Not going to overshadow Daniel Craig. I think, it's a good pick.
My first honorable mention that I'll do is
Dwayne Johnson.
Sierra's picks. I'm sure Sierra would pick, of the people I'm not going to mention, she would pick Harry Styles and Taylor Swift. Because I've mentioned Taylor Swift as a joke, and she was like, "Yeah, she'd be great."
Oh my gosh!
But my honorable mentions include Pattinson. We already talked about
That's a good one.
Michelle Yeoh and Ke Huy Quan, the stars of Everything Everywhere All at Once. And then I also put Colin Farrell in there. I love Colin Farrell. I feel like he can be a chameleon. He can hide himself in different roles.
Throw in the cast of the Batman.
All
of them.
Absolutely.
All of them.
All of them, yeah. I mean, Jeffrey Wright, get him in there. He's a phenomenal actor.
Let's go.
I actually, originally, when I was picking different serial killers, I had Paul Dano in there as well because of how well he portrayed kind of the creepiness in his role in Prisoners and the Batman. But I kind of took him out so I wouldn't be flush with too many characters. But the last one I have on here is Florence Pugh as well, which I've seen on a lot of people's suggested lists.
That's why I put her on my...
I love Florence Pugh. Mentions. I think she's one of the best up-and-coming... I mean, she can't even call her up-and-coming, but she's growing into, I think, being one of the best actresses of our age. Like, her performances are so good that I really, really thought that she made Don't Worry, Darling... work. I thought her performance was the best thing about the movie.
Yeah. Solid picks. I hope your movie gets made. You put a lot of effort into that. You need to write a script and send it to someone, even if it's not a Knives Out. Like change it a little bit. I'm like, let's make an original movie here.
So I presented this also to our friend Keegan. Just to spitball it off him, and he was like, "You should mail this to Rian Johnson. I want to see this movie get made." And I'm like, "You guys are puffing up my ego."
Maybe
too much.
It's like a Knives Out spinoff.
Maybe it's like a 30-minute.
The underworld, the dark side of things. Like we have Knives Out, that's like all the rich and whatnot, and then now we have whatever this is, like the dark side of society.
Daniel Craig comes out of this one and he's like, Benoit Blanc comes out of this one and he's like, not doing any more of those mysteries. Back to the rich Greek islands for me, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, I like your idea. I respect how much time you put into that. That was awesome. You blew me away.
Thank you. No, I liked your cast a lot too. Did you have anybody that you specifically would not want to see in it? Because I mentioned a few.
Kind of like you said, a lot of the big name actors that you think of when you think of like the best actors. Like didn't want Tom Cruise, didn't want Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio or the Christian Bale, you know. I wanted Daniel Craig to be the star still. And I wanted him to have a very strong supporting cast, you know, that are, I would say, equal to his stardom at the most. You know, like I don't want to go too much above that.
Don't want to take the attention off where it should be.
Right.
You think
and
that...
then I also didn't want characters that are too recognizable as themselves. So like Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne Johnson, you know, stuff like that. People like that.
Excuse me.
Excuse you.
Yeah, almost sneeze. Let's just timestamp this right now. It is 7:55 p.m. It is January 12th, 2023. So if the movie comes out, Knives Out 3, and it takes place in a prison, maximum security prison, or if it's at a some form of work function, work retreat, we know that we came up with that idea.
That's right. You heard it here first, people.
Ryan Johnson, I'm sorry to put you on blast like this, but it's been...
Or he must have been listening to our podcast if it ends up being true.
Yeah, which means we got a fan.
Yes, exactly. I'm excited to see.
When's
this movie supposed to come out? 24?
I would probably expect it for 24,
late
25.
Yeah.
Late 24 or 25. I'm sure he's already hard at work writing it with the amount of money that Netflix spent buying the rights to it.
Yeah, for sure. They spent way too much money, I think. Not that they're bad movies, but like, how do they make that money back? I mean, we ask this question all the time. How does Netflix make money to justify how much they're spending?
I always see posts talking about how like these big streaming services are kind of like burning money in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I think it's because Netflix put everybody in the hot seat of making original content. And I think that's where they start to burn money. Yeah. Like paying for the rights to the shows, you know, you just pay for what they're worth. Like you're like, well, this many people are watching it. Here's a fair rate for us to keep having it on our platform. And then the people who own the rights are like, sounds fair to me. Like making your own content is a completely different ball game where you're now wondering who's going to watch it in the future.
A new movie every week for a year. It's insane. It's insane.
Hey, we're putting out 2 episodes every week for a year. So like, we're kind of
what does Netflix have on us?
We're doing twice as much work as them.
And we're posting to TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram every single day.
Netflix's marketing team isn't doing that for sure. Sleeping at the helm.
We're pretty good at this.
Look at us go.
Look at us. We're pretty good. All right. Anything else you want to add to our Knives Out 3 casting? Who did you not want?
Yeah, the same blockbuster people, and then Jonathan Majors kind of don't want to see him in it. Like,
just because he's in too much right now.
I don't want.
Isn't that what all these other actors are?
Well, I just don't want him to be diluted. Yeah. You know, I don't want to.
I got you.
In my eyes, it's just me personally. You know, maybe.
I feel like he would be a really good casting for your movie idea, though.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see in Creed 3. I mean, we'll see because he's playing that ex-con character. Yeah. So from all appearances in the trailer.
That's his audition for your movie.
Exactly. He's like, this is for you.
We'll see if it's worth it.
Yeah, he's definitely got like the fitness to sell it. But I think that in the trailer, all appearances are that, he would probably kill it in that role as well. I just don't want I just don't want to feel like I'm seeing him and everything and I can't see the quality of the individual roles as much anymore through the haze.
Yeah, I feel you. All right. I think that kind of wraps up this episode. And again, we appreciate everyone listening. We post new episodes every Monday and Thursday. With a lot of those weeks, we post an extra episode. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. And that's a wrap.